Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, as the selling season winds down, I think that there are quite a few home sellers who have homes that did not sell. So, what are the reasons that they're not selling? And more importantly, what can be done about that?
Well, Richard, I think deciding on the pricing of a home, it's kind of a collaboration between the agent and the seller. Some sellers are like, oh, the agent said my house is worth this much, so therefore I'm going to put it on the market and see what happens. But with almost half the sellers having to lower their price, something's amiss, right? Even when we think we've priced it very realistically, occasionally what I see is that, oh, that number's not working either. So it's kind of a combination of all four things aligning. One of them is make sure the home is prepared for sale. Most buyers don't want to do any work. They want to move in, drop their stuff, and get on with their life. The second issue is pricing. Um, Most of the sellers I meet with, they want the most money. They keep pushing the number as high as they can get it. And I would love for them to get the most money, but that's not the way to get the most money. So I can show them how to do that. And then promotion really falls on the agent's shoulders now more than ever. Um, I'm finding more and more as we put homes on the market, many times if that buyer has an agent, they don't even attend. They don't even show up for the open house. Oh yeah, go look at it and I'll just sit here in my fuzzy bunny slippers and write a 10-minute contract and make 3%. What do you think? So that's what I see all the time. And it's very frustrating for sellers as many times they're getting tagged to pay for it. And they're like, what are they doing? So it really definitely it is the listing agent that gets them there because it's the listing agent that's responsible for all the marketing and getting the house found and getting them to want to come see the home. That's why picking the right team is absolutely critical. So let's start with preparation. A lot of people kind of think that, oh, if I just put the home on the market as it is, it's going to fly off the shelf and sell just as well as similar homes. But that's really not true. Buyers are taking with the quality of the imagery that's out there right now, they're taking a very good look at these properties and going, this one's updated and it's the same price as one that's not updated. I'm going to go see the updated one first, right? So they are deciding whether or not they're even going to pursue that home and waste their gas money or not based on the online presentation. That's why it's really, really important that if you decide to sell it as is and the home has some kind of issues like deferred maintenance, needs carpet, maybe a lot of updating, it's not the same price as a home that has been updated. So I try to show my clients that when they meet, but they don't always listen to me. Um, and basically, most of the buyers don't want to do any work, with one exception, which is if it's priced aggressively. I just closed a home today in which the house was not terribly dated, but a little bit dated, and it needed a tiny bit of work, carpet and paint. But the sellers made the right decision and factored that into the price. So they priced it very realistically. We had a massive crowd at the open house. 70 people were there, and we got 4 offers, and they got their full asking price with pretty much no concessions. But one of the trends I'm seeing right now, and I do a deep dive in statistics every single week, is that the good news is pending sales are actually up, right, by quite a bit, except that the number of pendings for the new prices are the ones that are in the lower price range. So we're seeing the prices drop of the homes that are going under contract. That tells me that buyers are bargain shopping, trying to find the best deal for their home in the best condition that they can get. Another thing that I noticed, and these stats just came out in the last few days, is if you look back from a year ago, the number of available homes on the market has gone up from 2,100 to over 3,100. That's a pretty big surge from last year to this year. So if it's showing that in any given day, it's telling me that either there's more homes going on the market, which the stats are showing about 30% more, and the buyers aren't jumping on them. Okay. So it could result in the prices getting more aggressive. Also, rates are kind of hovering about where they were when I checked on the stats today. It was 6.9% for a 30-year fixed. The government loans, FHA and VA, are down around 6.3. And but you can always, as a buyer, if you find the right deal, you can always negotiate to get your loan closing cost paid and cover some of the buy down of the interest rate so your payment is more affordable. But at the end of the day, we're seeing higher inventory, a little bit lower buyer demand, and at the same time, the prices are just kind of flat or eking up. So it means there's homes are basically um, the prices are staying the same. The more than half the sellers are starting to drop their price right now, and there's more opportunity out there for buyers. And one of the things that could be factoring into it is that according to the Wall Street Journal, 60% of homeowners in Colorado are sitting on interest rates below 4%. That's more than half, right? So they are thinking twice about, well, I've got this great rate, my payment's affordable. If I move, the rate's going to be almost double. And can I afford it when I do sell the house? So there's a lot of things that go into it. And I think the best thing that you can do when you are a seller really is to price that home very, very realistically. And the market is going to tell you right away if you get it wrong. If you have very few showings, if you don't have a lot of inquiries, a lot of activity right out of the gate, because the best time to get that dream buyer is in the first 30 days. If that's not happening, then it's a price problem or a marketing problem. It could be both. It could be one or the other. And that's part of what we do to help home sellers get things done. Um, the other thing that's really critical about pricing is the question is many times I will talk to home sellers that maybe worked with another agent and they said, oh, well, that agent said my home was worth this much money. And, but they don't know. And they'll say stuff like, well, I can get you this much money. But do they really know? Because it's the market that's going to decide what the buyers are going to pay for your home. And you'll be able to tell immediately by the activity of the showings, the calls, that kind of stuff. The hard facts are 87% of real estate agents get out of the business every 5 years. That's a big number. That's a terrible turnover. So I would be asking, okay, how long have you been in the business? If you've only seen the flying high, sky is blue kind of market, and now the market's getting a little bit more challenging, what do you really know about pricing a home to get it sold? That's what I would be asking an agent. And I was just meeting with my stager just a few days ago, and she's telling me, Barb, I know a whole bunch of agents that have not had a sale yet this year, and so that's one of the hardest things in this industry is to learn how to get business. But a lot of them are starving. So what I find is the communications that take place with the agents that I'm working with on my listings often happen well after business hours, 8 o'clock at night, emergency text to schedule an inspection because they're at work all day and, we're going to take care of their business and contact me after business hours, which kind of drives me crazy because I'm full-time and I would appreciate a little bit of breathing room. I don't know, Richard, do you get texts at 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday night asking you questions?
I do. I get things at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and I could use a little bit of a break as well. I haven't
Yeah,
put my foot down and just turned my phone off, but it is a little bit rude unless it's an emergency. I mean,
right.
you handle emergencies, but that's not what we're talking about.
Right. Well, I had to just turn, I've actually had buyers call me at 3 in the morning asking questions about my listings on the telephone. And I'm like, do you know what time it is here? Well, I have a question. They didn't even think about it. So it's really interesting. So I've actually just had to mute my phone. But if you actually get what I call all the four P's right, your home will sell within 30 days pretty easily. Right now, I think the average days on market is about 41 in El Paso County, very similar, except for maybe Pueblo County all around the Front Range. But like I helped a seller last year that they were on the market for 110 days and their agent did everything wrong. They overpriced it. They had terrible pictures. They slowly walked the price down. And at the end of the day, it just didn't work out. So they hired me. We corrected everything. We went back on the market. We had 40 people at the open house. Within 9 days, we had a full price contract and it sold in 2 weeks. So it's all about positioning the home properly. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And if you're thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Now, Barb, we're discussing why a house may not be selling. What are some other things that home sellers should do to sell fast and, more importantly, for the most money?
Well, it starts with picking a selling strategy. Am I going as is? It's going to be a different price than a pretty remodeled home. The other thing is to make sure the marketing is right and price it correctly. And you'll be able to tell immediately if you didn't get it right based on the volume of showing activity on your house. And we know exactly how to help people do that. If you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
If you're interested, you should get in touch with Barb. She's the person that you can rely on. The number is 719-301-3900. You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with, of course, Barb Schlinker. If you're thinking of making that move, visit barbhasthebuyers.com or make the call. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to get multiple offers on your home regardless of the market conditions. Barb will give us that answer when we come back.